So after the introduction, I want to go to the first lesson. Let's name the story Untitled, double click on it and name it Unit 1 or Lesson 1 or Lecture 1. Name it as you wish. Now the first lesson has 2 or 3 topics. This is really nice. Come with me. After the introduction, I have 4 main topics. I can call it Topic 1. I am unsure what it is. I was told by Dr. Abdul Rahman that the first lesson has 4 topics. So I'm working on the first topic. So the first lesson has 2 or 3 topics, which means I have a lesson or unit or lecture. That's the whole story. Now, this is the slide that's inside, and it's really nice. Come with me. After the introduction, I have 4 main topics. Here, I can give a topic and call it Topic 1. I don't know what it is yet. Dr. Abdul Rahman told me that the first lesson has 4 topics, so I'm working on the first topic. Is that clear? This is Topic 1. Dr. Abdul Rahman told me that the first lesson has 4 topics, so I'm working on the first topic. Is everything clear? This is Topic 1. I can actually use another method to decide on the prayer. This prayer is, instead of being empty, you know, I can leave you the right of publicity. Face here, and in this hierarchy, I need to start figuring out how these buttons will work. I need a button in the table of contents that takes me to this. If I made the first topic, the second topic, both topics must align. Here, the score is not linear. There is a line that finishes the first topic regardless of slides, and then it goes into the second topic. In navigation, there's a network format for displaying information, a horizontal format. This old linear format restricts knowledge-based navigation. Learners have to go through everything in order. Learners shouldn't follow order. They should jump from intro to third lesson. Freedom to choose. If asked about post-intro navigation, there's a network format for displaying information which is horizontal. This linear format is outdated and doesn't allow learners to navigate based on their knowledge. They must follow everything in order. I want learners to have the freedom to choose their path, like moving from the introduction to the third lesson. If someone asks how to navigate after the introduction, should it come before or after the table of contents? The introduction will be an element like other lessons. If the table of contents follows the introduction, it should have a button to return to the introduction. You can click to go to the introduction, then skip to the second lesson, and so on. Let's say this is one lesson with topics inside. Can I use drag and drop to see how things work? No, that method won't work. It needs buttons. Should the introduction come before the table of contents or after it? In a case like this, I would say the introduction will be an element just like the other lessons. Or should I place it before the table of contents? Why? Because if I put the table of contents after the introduction, then there should be a button in the table of contents that takes you to the introduction. You click on it to go to the introduction, then click on the second lesson to skip the introduction and go directly to the second lesson, and so on. Let's say all of this is one lesson, while what's inside are the topics. Well, can I drag and drop like this and see how things will go? I mean, can this come inside this like this? No. Oh, this way, no, this way, no. It has to have buttons. Create the other 2 slides. Select 2 slides, right click and choose duplicate. Now I have topic 1, 2, and the duplicated topic 1 will be topic 3. Here's the 4th topic. First, second, third, fourth content is complete and linear. Click on 1, then hold down the control key without releasing it, and click on the second one, then right click and choose duplicate. I can also take a screenshot of the duplicate and send it to you on WhatsApp, like I'm making educational images to show you what to do. I just duplicated it, so now I have topic 1. And then topic 2 here. This is the duplicated topic 1, which I will make topic 3. So here we have the 4th topic. First, second, third, fourth. There's no problem with the content. It's all complete, but it's linear. And we, of course, know as instructors in training courses for our members that we like to create forms of learning that are branching rather than linear, right? Okay? We like to create forms of learning that are branching rather than linear, right? Okay? In the 4th topic, there's a conclusion. For example, if there's a conclusion, I can right-click to duplicate it instead of going to New Slide Basic Blank. But I can just duplicate from the 4th topic and change its name since it's empty. So I right-click here to duplicate, and this will duplicate this slide. Now, let me add a print screen while I'm on duplicate. This is another way to duplicate slides while you're in the lesson. You just click on this part. I'll send it to you via WhatsApp so we can share the benefit. This is another way for me to duplicate the slides. I sent it to you via WhatsApp in an image. Is there a third way? Yes, you see the button button above called New Slide. You can click the arrow and do the same thing as basic blank from above. So if I do it like this for you, so I'm telling you from here, duplicate, this slide will be duplicated, this slide will be duplicated, come here again, I'm telling you here, add print screen, and I'm standing on duplicate. And this is another way to duplicate slides, and you're standing like this in the lesson. You click on this part. I'll send it to you via WhatsApp. I sent it as an image. Is there a third way? Yes, click the new slide button above. So if I do it like this for you, I can also take it from the menus above. Through WhatsApp, this is a third way to get a new slide. You can also click the button directly, so I can create a new slide. After the fourth topic, we have a summary. So I can take it for you from the lists above in this part like this, and also come via WhatsApp email. This is a third method that I bring a new slide with it. And there is that I click on the button directly like this, but I click on it, which is the button here, left click on it, but I do not open its value. I do not open what its value is, which is this button, but this button is what I use. 4 methods. Okay, so I can create a new slide. All the images I sent you, the 4 images, I sent them to you via WhatsApp in the group. I sent them to you in the group, so you never leave this group. You're with us in this group, and we send you updates if there are any changes or content related to this group. So here, after the fourth topic, we have a summary or conclusion, and I just click on new slide once like this. That's the easiest one. I always like to save the easy part for last. I start with the difficult ones and leave the easy ones for the end, because if I tell you the easy part first, you might take it for granted. And here, for example, the test, or what we call the test. We'll leave the test like this because there's a lot to discuss in the test. Or the beginning of the test, because later when I come to insert a test slide, its format will be different. I can start working on the question bank, or I can open a new slide and make it basic, but it should be a question slide since I have another slide for the results. So this topic is quite extensive, and these questions are for the week ahead, because the hardest thing in the storyline is designing question banks and online tests. This course implicitly includes multimedia, it implicitly includes video production, it implicitly includes creating question banks, and it implicitly includes unit end tests and final exams. In Storyline, it's about designing question banks and online tests. This course implicitly includes multimedia, it implicitly includes video production, it implicitly includes creating question banks, and it implicitly includes unit end tests and final exams. There are skills related to various topics that you'll learn with us in this training. Now, this linear learning approach, where things follow one after the other, isn't very pleasant. How can I control and create branches through the table of contents? So, the table of contents is what makes the difference. It's what sets things apart. I can create a new trigger here, all next, 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 or next or previous. Each slide will take you to the next or previous one. So you just press the next button or the previous button and so on. In the table of contents here, I can create a new trigger, and I can link this trigger to any action. For example, I press a specific key, drag and drop, place a button, press it, double click, right click, stand on the slide. That is, all the event things that are in front of me are these. I love buttons. The table of contents should have buttons for intro, topics, summary, and test to ensure correct design. I'm designing it first. If asked, what about the cover? I say, later, it's last. Objectives? Later. Once content and objectives are clear, then I can set them, add content and questions. Now, I'm designing the table of contents. It's for navigation, not content, a test, or a cover. The main page for browsing and navigating the educational unit, it's the table of contents. Remember, the center of navigation is the index, like in a book. Let's click on the table of contents. We want 4 buttons. Where do we get these? That's a skill from the insert menu. At the end, I have the interactive object. I'm designing the table of contents for navigation. The main page for browsing in the educational unit is the table of contents. Remember that. The center of navigation is the index, like in a book. Let's click on the table of contents. We want 4 buttons. Where do we get these buttons? That's a skill from the insert menu. At the end, I have the interactive object, skill number 2. We mentioned skills like naming slides. To adjust my design, I need to work with interactive objects or elements. The center of navigation is the index, which is what we call the index in a book or the table of contents. All right, let's click on the table of contents. We said we want to put 4 buttons in it. Where do we get these buttons from? That's another skill from the insert menu. Here at the end, I have the interactive object. This is skill number 2, which is how. Of course, we mentioned implicit skills such as naming and renaming the slide, renaming the story, and all of this talk. All of this talk is okay, but here, in order to adjust my design, I have to deal with the interactive object, right? Or the interactive elements. One of the most important elements is the buttons. Doctor, the sound has cut off. No, the sound hasn't cut off. I can hear it perfectly. Can the other colleagues confirm? Dr. Youssef, maybe you have an issue? Dr. Youssef, can you hear me? No, it's working. Yes, when it cuts off completely. Because when it cuts off for me, Dr. Youssef, I'm sure you can hear me. Of course, when it cuts off, the entire internet goes down. And I wait a minute because sometimes the laptop restarts the internet, but the sound is perfectly fine. Okay, I'll know. All right, Dr. Youssef, can you hear me? Or go to Ms. Phaeton, check with her privately on WhatsApp, not here. When the internet cuts off, it cuts off completely, and I wait a minute because sometimes the laptop restarts the internet, but the sound is perfectly fine. All right, I'll know. Okay, Dr. Youssef, can you hear me? Or go to Ms. Phaeton, check with her privately on WhatsApp, not here.